Anime is held dearly by many residents of Japan. However, that also extends to other countries. Various animations and art styles are expressed through it, as well as personalities portrayed by the characters. From fiction to slice of life without any of those magic powers, anime has no bounds. Now, imagine the animations having three-dimensional forms. That's right, the beloved characters of many come in a three-dimensional form that one can hold and display. There's a large community of these figure collectors that decide to buy a piece of colorful plastic for hundreds of dollars. It is not many, but there are stores as well in California that are dedicated to figures and anime merchandise. Collectors can have either hundreds of figures or a much smaller amount, such as 20, with the intention of buying more. There are an incredible amount of aspects to learn about when it comes to collecting. It is also not limited to plastic material, which I will get to later on. One thing that has come to my attention is the creation of figure shrines dedicated to an anime character. What's strange is that a shrine is a holy place and is overall an aspect of religion. Shrines are highly respected and are not considered something to mess with. For a bundle of figures to be considered a shrine in the first place, it needs to consist of a large quantity of figures of the same character. The quality of figures produced by the many companies is of no importance when it comes to the figure shrines. There are figures known as scales and prize figures. As you can see here, you can tell the difference in figure quality. A prize figure's price ranges from $20 to about $80, never over $100 unless in high demand, which is a rare occasion. As for scale figures, which the scale indicates the size of the figure in proportion to the actual height of the character themselves, they are always above $100 and can reach $400. The larger scales, such as a quarter scale, which is a quarter of the actual character's height, which is also the most expensive in scales and the most popular, are the ones capable of reaching $400 and can go beyond $600 in the aftermarket. When it comes to shrines and someone's favorite character, price is typically ignored. Going back to the material of figures, there's an unlicensed market that originates in China that also dedicates to the three-dimensional form, but with resin material. The difference is the effects and the dynamic poses that are chosen for these three-dimensional forms. They have a name, and they are called resin statues. The most surprising part about that is that their minimum price is typically at $200, and this is without shipping included, which can also be another hefty $200, depending on size, weight, and effects. That is a part of collecting that not everyone is fond of and refuse to be a part of because of it being unlicensed. But some statues are definitely included in shrines. Continuing, figure shrines and figures in general have a unique form of display. It is unique to every character as well. A lot of what is popular is a glass casing with LED lights. Many also choosing to get prints or pictures or wall scrolls of characters as a way to decorate the exterior and make their figures stand out as long as it corresponds to the theme the collector is trying to portray. Themes can vary from dedicating their collection to one color, to a specific type of figure, to a specific type of wardrobe, to a specific anime, and more. The same applies to shrines. When it comes to shrines, however, everything must be related to the character or be the character themselves. Aspects of the character are taken into consideration when deciding how to display. Here is mine, where the resin statue is in the middle and is surrounded by much smaller figures. Then there are pictures of the same character in the background. Other minor details in relation to the character are seen, such as a golden heart and another character in the background that is shown to be loved by the character in the anime. And of course, having figures displayed, whether it be in glass casings or on shelves, there is maintenance to consider. Figures collect dust, so they must be cleaned and dusted. The same goes for the shelves and glass casings. It is time-consuming for collectors to clean their complete collection, especially when they have a very large one. Of course, with the figure shrines, some collectors prioritize them, such as myself. The way they are typically cleaned is by utilizing makeup brushes to dust them off. If some dust is rather stubborn, a wet cloth or a dry one can be used. It's not often, but some collectors may use some warm water and soap if there is very stubborn or sticky residue has formed on the plastic, which can happen to anyone. Maintenance is important when it comes to collecting. We do not want our figures damaged in any shape or form, and we will gladly spend hours dusting off every single piece of plastic we own. Imagine how well the shrines are maintained. As for figure hunting, another important and fun part of collecting, we of course want to be able to find the best deals. Sometimes just visiting places that have figures is a fun trip for us collectors. There's Little Tokyo in downtown LA, or Tokyo-based stores in malls, where you can find a couple of figures in. Of course, I refuse to purchase any there because of the ridiculous prices, whether it be at Little Tokyo or be in the Little Japan or anime-based stores in malls. A lot of times when you're very knowledgeable about collecting, you can find the same $200 figure in store for about $80. Typically, those are found in pre-owned sections on Japanese websites. Pre-owned items are never an issue for collectors, however. If we can get a hand on our favorite character in a different pose for much less, we will be purchasing. The exploration of figure hunting is extremely enjoyable for collectors, whether it be online or in person. Sometimes just entering a store releases all the serotonin in our brains. Occasionally, great deals can be found, so if you ever enter an anime store, do not feel hopeless. Some people go through great lengths to get a hand on a figure they have wanted for some time. For example, unfortunately, she does not fit in the shrine shelf, but I searched for a resin statue of the character for so long until I finally found a website that connected me to people who were connected to sellers that sold that statue I had longed for. I stayed in contact for days, waiting for confirmation that the item was available. More can be said about where and how to find figures. Now, knowing all this, what do people even benefit from these figure shrines? Why all the maintenance? Why all the special display cases? Why go through great lengths to obtain the title of a shrine? Is it all worth it? I asked for permission from fellow collectors to share some examples of their shrines. I was only able to get 2. In one of the posts, they expressed why they love the character so much, and they received many comments in support of their content. The same thing happened in the comments, but without expression of how they feel about the character, but this person is known to have a large amount of figures of a specific character. The thing about figure shrines is how people share them. They allow people to share them to a greater community and gain support from people that understand the love of two-dimensional characters. I have faced many strange looks from people that do not understand why I love to collect in general. They think it's a waste of money, or they think it's weird that I am so dedicated to these anime characters. When people share the character they love online in both 2D and 3D, there will be people that share the same love and emotional connections that the collector feels. It can begin the creation of friendships that are connected from one country to another. Yes, there will be hiccups from such a large community, but that does not stop people from creating deep relationships with other collectors. These figure shrines may be seen as strange by outsiders, but to other collectors, it's dedication and emotional connections. Online platforms provide the support from other collectors, and that is what a lot of us tend to look for, especially with something that seems weird to people that don't watch anime or do, but find that having the three-dimensional forms of the anime really strange. Thanks to my shrine, I managed to gain more attraction and more people to talk to. I even made a friend who was capable of helping me fix a statue with paint issues, and they aren't even located in California. So it's not just about spending hundreds of dollars on a piece of plastic. It's about the emotional connections and the community that people become a part of.